straight to the point, competitions do not matter. It does not matter where you're coming from, what you're doing, what art you create, what craft you pursue. If it's even art, if it's even a craft, if it's maybe something intellectual, competitions do not matter. And I have to repeatedly remind myself of that. But see it as an opportunity to hone your skills, to hone your craft, to hone your perhaps your intellectual capacity, to hone also your strength to get stronger, to get a stronger iron will, right? And to get a thicker skin overall. Because if you get repeatedly rejected and not recognized for your art and craft, it does not mean that you are not worthy or valuable, or that your art is not worthy and valuable. In fact, very often it means the opposite. I heard of a Japanese composer called Yashimatsu Takahashi, I think. That's his name. And he got rejected 20 times in the competition. So it's not, it doesn't have anything to do basically with your skill. It doesn't have anything to do with your craft. And now he's a famous composer, right? He's absolutely brilliant. I love his music. It's so wholesome. It's so whimsical. It's so deep. It's so soulful, so serene, and yet so passionate and emotional. But when I listened to this interview 2 days ago, or yesterday, I think, and I listened to that and I was like, that's so interesting. It's like typical, right, for the people who are often appreciated the most by a community, or who resonate with a lot of people actually, but maybe not to some ears or to some minds. It's like, oh no, this is not good enough. This doesn't fit into our program. This doesn't fit into our system, whatever. I do think it's a sign of our society that we place the values on the wrong things in a lot of ways, right? In a lot of alleys that opened up in modern society that seem like a good thing, or like something that you want to pursue, that you need to pursue. Almost you feel like it's this outside force imposing on you this exterior will, right? This overarching, overwhelming sense of like, oh, I have to do this, right? Because everybody takes part in this, or this is just what you do, right? This is what society does. This is what everyone does when you're an artist, when you're a composer, when you're a writer, whatever, you know. Or maybe you're a dancer, maybe you're taking part in ballet competitions, or other dance competitions, breakdance competitions, for instance, or as a painter, you know, right? As a painter, or if you just love drawing, and you take part in these competitions every year, but you don't get recognized for it. It's easy. It's very easy to fall into this pit of like, oh, maybe it's really not good enough, or what did I do wrong, right? You start questioning yourself. You start questioning your work. You start questioning your the system that you use for creating your craft, your pattern, and your what's the word? I'm missing the word. Your way of creating, basically, right? Your process. You're questioning your process and the tools maybe you use. But most of all, you're usually attaching your self-worth to the outcome, to the finished piece, to the process, and to the result. Most often only to the result, and then you're questioning everything around that. And if you get a few comments also, you know, like, oh, this is not good enough or something, from people, then this can really, really hurt you, of course, deeply, on a deeper level. But on the other hand, it's also a gift, right? It's not. It's a blessing in disguise, kind of. And I realized it later on. Like, if you would have asked me 5 years ago or something, I would have just been upset and be falling into a depressive mode, or getting very defensive. But now, when I get rejected from a competition, or when I don't win anything, which is basically all the time I took part in a competition, I see it as this opportunity. And my wife today also reminded me, it's like uh, this right, this gift to be able to hone your skills. When you repeatedly do something and you get rejected from it, you still learn, right? You learn on an internal level, on a personal level, so your personality hopefully grows and improves. You get a thicker skin, right? Your will gets stronger in a weird sense. It's kind of flipping the switch and putting you in the directly reverse position, saying instead of I'm giving up because this is not worth it, or my art is not worth enough, it's not valuable. It if you find that will, if you find that internal compass, and you find back to your true self, right, to this inner pillar of light that you have within your soul, your heart, your passion, then it ignites kind of the opposite. And instead of feeling hopeless and feeling like nothing is good enough or nothing is worth pursuing, you kind of feel like, oh, even more now I'm going to pursue it, to show myself, to improve myself, and to find that resonance within a community, to find that resonance with people who are on the same level that you are, on the same, who have a similar perspective to life, maybe who also appreciate life-affirming crafts, who appreciate life-affirming, loving, wholesome art, instead of the opposite, something divisive, something hateful, something that just spreads spite and division, and enhances the contrast and the opposition in society, right? It's not something that I want to pursue by any means. So I'm automatically going to attract people who are thinking or feeling like that. It's more of a felt sense, right? It's a deep feeling inside. And I hope that inspires people. I keep repeating that, but I hope it inspires people on a deep level, on a soulful level, and it in turn inspires me to create more. It in turn inspires me to do more and to get better and to be more myself and to share my authentic voice with the world. And I hope you can do that too. I hope you can find that spot, that inner pillar of light that enables you to share your voice without censoring it, without feeling burdened down, without feeling you need to be in a competition, or without you needing to feel you need to be approved by society. Because honestly, the system, most systems in modern society fail drastically. They perceive reality in a way that I personally think is completely wrong. It's harmful. As I also think big city structures opposing nature, right? Going away from the nature that humanity came from, that you have been birthed out of. It's like a tall building made out of concrete with no plants surrounding it. It's kind of that image that I have in my head, opposing the natural world, opposing the beautiful, glorious, absolutely life-affirming, juicy sap green tree with its beautiful big crown, right? Just speaking to your heart and soul. And on the other end of the spectrum, on the opposing side of the street, you have this tall building, concrete, very sterile looking, very life-denying, I would call it, sucking out your life literally. And it's kind of also with the systems, right? On a mental, on a conceptual, on an emotional level, systems in modern society are not life affirming. I would say most of them are not. They are trying to project something outwards. They're trying to impose certain ideals and certain thought patterns onto us as a community, onto us as a society, that are not really what our heart tells us to be true, right? It's like this virtue signaling again. I know I'm opening a lot of alleys and a lot of thought patterns here, but bear with me. This is, I think, one of the most important things to remember is like, there is no competition, really. There is no competition, especially in the artistic world, if you're coming from a wholesome, heart-centered, authentic, candid place. Then there is no one system to follow. There's no one way to do things. There is no one set of tools. Same thing with the tools you use, right? It's not the tools that dictate your process. It's the process that you personally are able to unfold, in a space that you feel comfortable, but it's still outside your comfort zone to some degree, but still comfortable enough for you to be able to unfold within a space where you can create your true authentic artworks. And then you draw in the tools that are necessary for that process. And some tools might improve your process, some tools might enhance it, some tools might be a bit easier going, some tools you might not resonate with at all. But it's not the tools that dictate the process fully, right? They are aiding, they're supplements, they're additional elements, but they are not the main thing. And it's the same with with all the other systems, and it's the same with competitions. They're additional, but they are not necessary and they don't dictate your value, because you're worthy and you're valuable independent of any competition, independent of any price.